Gentlelady from Michigan addresses the Secretary of Education. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about our home state of Michigan, where decades of disinvestment in our schools has had an impact on our students. From 1995 to 2015, Michigan ranked last in total education revenue growth, and not surprisingly, since 2003, Michigan ranks last in proficiency growth. And your budget proposal for the Department of Education requests an $8.5 billion decrease in spending and eliminates 29 programs. Do you mind explaining how disinvestment of this scale will serve our country's students when it's failed in Michigan?
Well, Congresswoman, we had to submit a budget that did reduce our overall spending by 10% because of Congress's requirements to hit those caps. So we were following Congress's mandate in that regard, and we had to make difficult choices around what areas to propose cutbacks in. These are all proposals, and you will all decide what you're going to spend. So we submit them to you as proposals, acknowledging that we tried to hold harmless those programs that are going to most benefit and most reach students who are most vulnerable and most in need of the assistance.
Yeah, and we certainly don't like to make determinations around which programs are successful versus which ones aren't just because of legacy considerations. I was particularly inspired by my colleague, Congressman Harder's questioning and around literacy, which is certainly a pervasive issue in Michigan. And, you know, we don't cut fire departments or police departments just because crime is going up. You know, we figure out a way to double down and work together. And my district, home to wonderful communities. I'm a product of our public school system. I graduated from Seaholm High School. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to visit Seaholm.
I have not, but I've had friends that graduated from Seaholm.
Excellent. Well, you know, one of the things in Michigan is we have, the per pupil funding standards. And, you know, it strikes me that just because you're a resident of Birmingham, Michigan, and, able to send your children to Seaholm, it shouldn't mean that if you're a resident of Detroit, per se, that you shouldn't have the same opportunity. You should be able to send your student to the same quality school. Is that what you would agree with?
Well, I think every student should be able to find a school that works for them, yes.
Right. And so your budget proposes to eliminate billions of dollars in K through 12 programs, from professional development for teachers and principals to after-school programming to mental health services, and one of my personal favorites, STEM education. And obviously we've heard you talk about some of the hard decisions that you have had to make, yet somehow you found $60 million for an increase in the federal charter school program. And I just really wonder if charter schools are the answer here, whereas it really should be the Title I funding. So a recent report by the Network for Public Education found that more than $1 billion in charter school program funds have gone to support charter schools that have either, they've never opened, or, they've closed, they've kind of abandoned some of the children and families. And since 2010, 25 schools in Michigan that have received $1.7 million in charter school funding just never even opened. And the Inspector General found waste, fraud, abuse due to the frequency of school closures in the charter school program. Can you just explain for me the mark of effective programs here, and can you justify the proposed increase for the charter school program and on what measures or studies that you've been using?
Well, let me first comment to the study you're referring to. I'm not sure we can even call it a study. We're looking more closely at it, of course, and anything that is truly waste, fraud, or abuse, we will certainly address. But the reality is that study was really funded by and promoted by those who have a political agenda against charter schools. And the other reality is that there are currently over 1 million students on wait lists for charter schools in the country. So we want to see more charter schools, not fewer. More students that can access options that are right for them, not fewer.
At the expense of public education funding?
Charter schools are public schools.
I'd just say, with the remaining seconds that I have left, that roughly 20% of my district is under the age of 18, and those individuals are counting on us. And we are here to have some tough discussions about how we can improve the lives of our students and educational outcomes. And I very much appreciate that the title of this hearing, Examining the Policies and Priorities of the U.S. Department of Education, revealed some of your priorities to us. Thank you.